First thing I wanted to talk about a little bit though, is personal branding, and I bring that up because you are somebody who has a strong personal brand, and I think you've been able to, as we've talked about before, you've been able to have some different roles created that you filled that weren't exactly roles already there, but that's because of a strong personal brand. Without a strong personal brand, I don't think some of those would probably have occurred because you come with a certain package that people know what to expect from you in a
Mhm.
positive light, right?
I
So
agree.
I want to talk a little bit about the importance of personal branding with you today. And my first question is, what is a personal brand and why is it important?
So, when you think about a personal brand, it is, for me, it's your identity and how you want to be viewed. The reason why I consider it to be personal is because you need to be deliberate. So, people can have assumptions about you, who they feel you are, what they think you're focused on, whatever aspirations they think you may have. But if you're not deliberate at making those things a point, then people are going to have their assumptions. Those assumptions could be false, they could be true about you, right? If you're deliberate at having a personal brand, then they're always going to walk away knowing what you want them to know about you.
Hmm.
And then they're going to go into other rooms that you may not necessarily be invited into, and they're going to speak about you accordingly, the way that
Hmm.
you would want to be represented, right? Especially when you're not in that room. So personal branding is really just having a determination and a clear focus on how you're going to promote yourself to be heard, to be remembered, right? And the importance of it is, if you want to be heard and you want to be remembered, be deliberate about it.
Yeah.
So that way, other people going into other rooms can represent you accordingly without you being in that room.
Okay.
That would be my defined method to utilizing personal branding.
Okay. Okay. So at high level, what I'm hearing there is it's a way for you to take charge of your image, your professional image, right? Versus allowing it to be dictated by others or kind of left to chance based on whatever interpretations or assumptions other people might have.
Correct. And then to your point, so yes, there have been roles that were created for me that wasn't under the normal archy of Ronstead, right? Um, though I feel the reason why those roles were created, because they knew what my brand was, because they knew what I was going to be focused on. They knew how I was going to look to do it, and they saw an avenue to where that could be utilized in a more innovative way, as opposed to the cookie cutter profile. So I pride myself on being intentional about branding myself, and then when you think about that, now I'm controlling my destiny. When we think about career pathing, there are so many people that rely on someone to kind of dictate it for them. In most cases, it's a manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or who you're directly reporting to, right? You're coming in with the idea that they know what your work ethic is. They know, what your success stories are. So they know what your passion is. So they should automatically be highlighting your career path for you. They can, but they're only going to go about it one way, the way that they know, right? But there's so many more things that represent you before even coming onto their team, before even reporting to them.
Mm-hmm.
So be intentional about always coming to the table with who you are and who you want and how you want to be viewed. And you never know what kind of other doors are going to open up for you just from being consistent in that manner.
Man, I love that. I love that. I love the what you said about intentionality. You said that several times of really being mindful about your professional image, your personal brand, and crafting that in a positive light. Because I don't think most people approach it that way. I think it's something. It seems to me that you have a personal brand whether you craft it or not, right? So you can have the one that happened on accident, or
Mhm.
you can be mindful and be intentional and think ahead, right? And build it to your advantage to get to where you want to go. Would you agree with that?
I will. And then, so a lot of people may So like for me, I simplify things to the best of my ability, right? So you may have a lot of people may think, okay, I'm going to build a personal brand to get to this finish line, or I want to build a personal brand, but I don't know what finish line that's going to carry me to. I don't even worry about the finish line. I just worry about walking forward
Hmm.
and not tripping when I walk. So the only things that I can control is me, right?
Hmm.
I know what I'm going to do. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I'm going to promote myself. And what other doors are opened up in the interim, that gives me the opportunity to now decide if I want to walk through that door or not.
Gotcha. 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 Okay. And so I'm also hearing from you that your personal brand also helps dictate your opportunities. That's
Correct.
right. Because by navigating and creating a strong personal brand, you have situations where opportunities will come to you because of the reputation you built for yourself, impressions you made on people that are in positions to have opportunities. And like you said, speak for you when you're not there in a room, right? So it's important because now you're leveraging not only the opportunities you have directly, you're leveraging indirect opportunities by creating advocates for you because you have a strong personal brand.
Correct.
Outstanding, man. Man, we're just a couple of minutes in and we already got several nuggets. So I
I
appreciate.
got an example. Would you like an example?
Yeah, yeah. Share an example for me.
Okay. So, for example, when I show up to work, I show up to be solution orientated, right?
Okay.
Solution minded, right? I want to be an asset to anybody that's going to work and partner with me. Like that's my simple goal, simple format. That's my personal branding, right? Um, in doing so, my boss had came to me with an opportunity. This was a I won't go with the names of clients and things to that degree, but
Yeah.
it was a huge client for our company within our department, one of the largest ones that we've ever encountered. The whole process was new. There was nothing created, there was nothing structured, there was nothing formatted. So somebody as a leader was going to have to come in and take on multiple hats, mostly like a startup. I was going to have to take an operations approach. I was going to have to take an onboarding approach. I was going to take a business management approach. I was going to take an account management approach, in addition to what's on my plate, which is leading my team, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, partnering and being successful with all our KPIs, metrics, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I had to create those too because those weren't even established. So
Okay.
in most cases, somebody will walk into that situation like, that's too much. It's overwhelming. Like I walked in and said, can I do it the way I want to since you have no structure of how to do it?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, fine. I'll figure it out when I need you. I'll let you know. So I feel like my boss came to me because she knew I'm willing to accept a situation for what it is and make it what I want to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to come at that with a oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed because I'm not getting hits or I'm not or don't have this or I don't have that. No, I'm going to go in and figure out how to make it work. Period, point blank. Like that's what I do. I want
Okay.
to be a resource. I want to be an ally. I want to be solution minded. So bring me the problems.
Hmm.
Bring them to me.
He said,
Bring me the problems.
bring me the.
I'm fine with it. Bring me the challenges. Bring me the things that people run away from. I'm open to that. That's my branding. That's my personal brand. Bring me all the coal and let me make diamonds out of it.
Mm, mm. And what better
So
brand? Wow, what better brand to have than somebody who welcomes problems and challenges and is a problem fixer? Who wouldn't want somebody that's willing to take on anything, any issues, really, and take the stuff that people don't want to deal with, the headaches, and take those and navigate those and have that type of mentality and the positive attitude you have. We're going to get to that. The positivity you approach it with as well.
because excuse me, even in this example, ideally they could have found someone more senior that had experience in the operations side, in the onboarding side, in the account management, the business development. They could have found somebody who had all those skills already, but would
Mhm.
they have had the passion? Would they have had the resiliency to do it? You know what I mean? Would they have had the innovativeness, the creativeness
Mm,
to make it their own? right?
Okay.
Without any lines that they can draw within, right? So, and then, and then be honored and be appreciative. Like, okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
So bring me the problems. I look at that as an honor. Thank you for trusting me with the things that you can't figure out for yourself. Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
let's do it together.
man. And you said something earlier, and I didn't want to miss it, but I didn't want to cut you off either. Um, and I lost my train of thought, but if it comes back to me, I'll circle back to it. But you made me think about something. I'm upset I missed it, but I didn't want to cut you off. All right. So anyway, I don't want to stop your momentum because I think we're on a roll here. But right now, while you're on a roll, I want to know from you, John Deere the third, what are the keys to building a strong personal brand?
Well, first and foremost, I would say consistency is going to be key. However you brand yourself, you need to make sure that's something that you're going to live with for the rest of your life.
Okay.
So if you say I am solution minded, you got to be open to the problems coming to you.
Yeah.
You got to be open to deadlines that may not be realistic, and you have to be able to say this is why that's not realistic.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Got that.
you have to be, and then when we talk about consistency, you have to be honest with yourself.
Hmm.
I run into a lot of people that are applying to certain positions. I'm looking at their resume and I'm like, you can't even speak to this. Like, why are you? I understand that's the type of pay you want to make. I understand that's the type of shift that you would like. I understand that's the type of industry you want to be in.
Mhm.
But we got two different phases we need to really hone in and get to before we get to phase three. And you're going from phase zero to phase three. So you got to be honest with yourself. Even if
Okay.
you were given that opportunity, can you be consistent and successful in that role?
Yep.
Or should we go to phase one and then phase two and then phase three, which is going to be the consistency to grow and to continue to develop and continue to get honed into this craft. So
Okay.
if there's a rule of thumb or a process flow for building and designing a personal brand, first and foremost, be consistent at you.
Okay.
Because if you know who you are, if you're confident in what you're speaking about, you're not going to please everybody. The situations where you can't please somebody, you could still walk away with your core intact. It
Hmm.
didn't work for them. It didn't work in that industry. That doesn't mean I don't work.
Right.
No one's perfect, right?
Hmm.
Maybe the relationship wasn't there. Maybe the partnership wasn't there. Maybe the camaraderie wasn't there. Maybe there are things that I didn't know about that I was never told, which prohibited me from being able to do my job
Right.
accordingly and effectively, right? Those things don't have anything to do with me, though, because I know my aptitude. I know what I'm going to bring to the table. I
Hmm.
know my determination, right? So those are the things that I am going to promote when it comes to my personal branding. I'm not saying I'm going to be your solution. I'm going to say I'm solution minded. I'm going to give you all the suggestions that I feel that are solutions to this situation. You may not agree with those as solutions.
Hmm.
You may not want to entertain those as potential solutions. It's fine. But I know my due diligence and what I did to come up with those solutions. So when we think about, building your personal brand, I would say 100% consistency and consistency at understanding who you are and carrying that forward.
Okay. So let me tell you what I've heard. Because you said quite a bit there. So I did hear the consistency. You said that several times. Um, so consistency means people are going to know what to expect from you because you deliver on a consistent level, right? You've been able, you've shown you can deliver not just once, but regularly on an ongoing basis over an extended period of time, right?
That's the routine, correct?
Yeah. Self-awareness, knowing your strong, what your strong suits are, where you're strong, and also where your blind spots and your growth areas, right? And then being honest with yourself about what you're ready to take on and not overshooting, right? Doesn't mean you don't ask for stretch opportunities because
Right, correct.
I think we agree sometimes you can have a stretch opportunity, but if it's a If it's too far out there, then you might just be kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, and people kind of raise their eyebrows, right? And then also, for the sake of growth, it's important to know where your growth areas are so you can continue to get training on them, skill develop, and mentorship and that kind of thing. And then,
Going into you.
and I heard you say, I heard another thread in there, which was authenticity.
Mhm.
Authenticity, being yourself, knowing that, okay, I know I'm good at this, right? Owning it, walking in that, delivering the best you can, and also knowing when to discern when you needed to improve versus when you were in a situation that maybe wasn't the best fit or best circumstance for you to get the outcome needed. Was I hearing that correctly?
You were. And I mean, just to be transparent, fact of the matter is we're young and we're black and we're in corporate America, right? In
Mhm.
most cases, you only have that one opportunity.
Hmm.
Like every opportunity, you have to treat it like it's your last opportunity. So I rather go into a situation with full transparency to not only myself but my business partners,
Hmm.
so that way they don't set the bar higher than what I want it to be.
Hmm.
You undercommit and overproduce. If you have that example, if you have that equation in everything in every facet that you put yourself into, then in most cases you'll never come up short.